Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jassogne, your host. Thank you for joining us as we're hopefully putting some of the wintertime doldrums behind us, moving into the last segment here as we hit the late February, early March time, and we can look for spring right around the corner. Although it hasn't been an awful winter, we'd like for it to really get good and then stay good for the rest of the time. That's our hope here as we telecast today and broadcast downtown at Fairfield Federal. A little gray, a little overcast today, but compared to where we are in February, under many Februaries, this is just a wonderful day. So thank you for joining us today. Second half of the show, we're going to have Captain Bryan DeMichael. We'll talk about the Salvation Army and look back on them, the kind of year they just had, and what kind of year they can expect here with some of the things they've got going on down there on Hubert Avenue. We'll begin our show today with, I guess it's been several months since we had Anna Tobin on, who's Executive Director of Meals on Wheels, and talked about Meals on Wheels and the things were coming up. But now we have something really tangible, something we really want to hit on, and it's so important that we got Christa Moody from Fairfield Federal here to join us. Christa is she's an employee here at Fairfield Federal, but she's also a board member and kind of the driving force, as Anna tells me, behind all this. So Christa and Anna, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So here we are, late February, but coming up in a couple of weeks, it's going to start breaking loose with March for Meals. Would that be it?
That'll be it. And you know that's an annual event for Meals on Wheels. And we started it about 5 years ago, although it's been a national campaign for well over 12 years or so. Almost 20 years, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And so it's just an initiative, a campaign where communities across the nation come together to help raise awareness to senior isolation and hunger. And we do so here in Fairfield County with a variety of events that we have on the schedule all throughout the month of March.
Well, Christa, you're a board member here, and I know you enjoy being on the board very much. We've talked before. We've had you on before to talk about some of these things. And this March for Meals, you've really, I don't know how many of these events you've set up, but I know you've been involved in all of them. You really have a march coming up here to remember.
Really excited about all the different events that we're going to do with this year's March for Meals. We're going to kick it off with a Thunder Alley on March 6th at Tiki Lane.
As soon as you hear Thunder Alley, you think Tiki, and they do the lights and the thing. I mean, it is just a lot of fun.
So much.
Now, how do people get involved? Well, we'll talk about that. How do people get involved at Thunder Alley?
Thunder Alley, you can go online and
you can reserve a lane.
Reserve a lane.
Okay.
Sign up there. It's going to be a wonderful evening. It goes from 6 to 10.
Okay, and that's March 6th.
Excuse me, it starts at 10.
Starts
March
at 10.
6th, It starts at 10 o'clock.
Yep,
Okay.
through midnight. And so
Yes.
while you're there will be 50-50, there'll be bake sale, all kinds of fun stuff going on to help make that event really special. And all those proceeds then will benefit the Meals on Wheels program.
Can I show up in my pajamas? Because at 10 o'clock,
That's how I show
usually
up.
it for me.
That's how I show up, Paul. I hit the bake sale in my jammies and go on back
but
home.
I tell you, that's no place to sleep out there. That
it's a lot of
is
fun.
a wild place when that
Yes.
Thunder Alley takes place. You're not going to sleep through that.
No, so it's a great family event. Grab your kids and book a lane. You have to call in advance, like Christa mentioned, to book a lane.
Do they call you or call Tiki? Or?
Call out to Tiki.
Okay.
And let them know. Or if you show up the game night or the event night, you can make sure that you have on your phone the Facebook post that says we're having a Thunder Alley. Okay. Show them that and say that you're here for the event.
All right.
And we'll go from there. And those proceeds then will go to Meals on Wheels. So
Now,
check us out on our Facebook page.
I've looked that up.
Lots of events.
Yes.
I've heard of an item called Facebook. I don't know anything other than that it's there, and it's very cool, so I'm glad you enjoy it. But smarter people than me will deal with that. I'm still in the email stages of things. I'm very behind. So then we look ahead to the 28th, which is a Saturday, and boy, you've got a busy Saturday coming up that day. What's going on?
Busy day. We're going to kick it off with a pancake breakfast, and this is going to be at the Meals on Wheels location on Cedar Hill Road, and we're also going to have a basket raffle that morning too.
And I think we've got a picture that we're going to be showing. Is that something you kind of put together yourself?
Well, they had asked each of the board members if they would donate a basket. So the one that you'll see today is the one that I'm donating.
That's lovely.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoy making up baskets.
So it's going to be a raffle and getting involved in that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we have a 5K, 1 mile walk that morning. Starts at 9 o'clock at Martin's Park. Super exciting. Everybody come out and just enjoy that morning.
It's not about the competition.
No, oh my goodness, no. If you're a runner, go on out and have a nice run. If you're not
be on
a runner,
the bike path.
I am not a runner, but I can sure walk.
Will you be on the bike path?
Yes.
Is that where
Yes.
because it's right there?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll step off from Meals on Wheels.
Begin. Oh, from Meals on Wheels.
Begin at Meals on Wheels. We'll go down over the hill, and then we'll hop on the Martin's.
Then we go.
The Martin's Park bike path, and it'll take us on down. You'll probably round close to Talmadge School.
Okay, sure.
And then, is that the one? Yeah, Talmadge is right down there.
Right
and then,
there, it runs right by Talmadge.
Yep, and you'll loop and come on back up to the facility. And like Christa mentioned, we do have a pancake breakfast running that day.
Nice.
And this year, I'm just going to let you know, we have very special cinnamon roll recipe that we're breaking out just for this event. So
Yeah, that's all made for running. I can tell. You
yes.
can load up on carbs out of that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's the way I look at it. A little bit of running, a little bit of eating, but real good stuff.
So it's you get a $20 early bird registration. That's going on, right?
Yep, till
If you
March
get in
14th.
March 14th, so you got a couple weeks. You can guarantee a T-shirt. Very
Yep.
cool T-shirt.
Yeah,
Very
cool
nice.
T-shirt.
You can register online. That's very cool. Most races anymore, you can do
Yes.
that online.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that on your website?
You can access us through
Oh.
our website or also Race Penguin.
Race
You
Penguin.
go on to Race Penguin.
Yeah, so you could go on the Meals on Wheels website. All this information on there. Got a real good website with lots of good information on there. And Christa, you as a board member on this, I guess this is something that you can really sink your teeth into. I mean, here it is right in March. Let's go for it and let's really get engaged.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm really excited about is the week of March 16th to 20th. The board members are allowed to go out and ride with the driver. And so I am really looking forward to having that opportunity to be able to go
You've
out.
never done that?
I have not. I have not, working full time still. So I don't have the time to do that. But I'm really looking forward to seeing and just getting out there and meeting some of our seniors and having such a privilege to be able to serve them a meal.
I've talked to Anna again and again about things about Meals on Wheels, and one of the things you almost always hear from drivers is that it's almost more for them than it is the people that they serve. Because of that contact, that's such an important part of what your organization does, Meals on Wheels. But you hear drivers over and over say, "Hey, I get more out of this than these people could possibly."
Yeah, that's a very common sentiment that comes out of volunteering in many different aspects, whether you're volunteering with children or older adults. But here at Meals on Wheels, we do have the Community Champions Week that Christa was referring to. And we know Mayor Scheffler will be out. We have a couple of the deputies will be coming out. Chief Ward will be coming out from the fire department. But they're also helping either deliver the meals or they're doing packing the meals. But what it is, it's an opportunity to get that Meals on Wheels experience, to see if this is a volunteer opportunity that you might want to make more permanent. Or learn more about us and help us spread the information throughout the community. Because we can't do what we do without the support of the community. We're always looking for volunteers. Right now we're in dire need of volunteers to help us deliver here in the city of Lancaster.
I was going to say, that's something I was reading on your website too, is that you need volunteers, particularly in the driver area.
Absolutely, in the driver,
In the
especially
city of
in the
Lancaster.
city of Lancaster. We're serving over 2,500 seniors each year, over 250,000 meals. That's a lot of meals. About 40% of those meals are delivered right here in the city of Lancaster. So when you look at the magnitude of services that we're getting out each day in and day out for our seniors, we do require the help of the community, and we are just reaching out and asking if you've ever considered to volunteer. Now's a good time to step up and get involved. Our seniors need you.
I've got Anna Tobin, who is the executive director of Meals on Wheels here in Fairfield County, and Christa Moody, who is a board member. And Christa, I don't know, how long have you been on the board?
4 years now.
4 years. So it's probably a place where you knew what Meals on Wheels was, but when you got on the board, I bet you're like a little kitten. Your eyes have come open now, and now for a chance for you to be with the driver, you've really come full circle. I think you probably see now how important this organization is.
It is. Meals on Wheels has touched my life personally with my husband's parents and with mine when they were still alive. And so, that lit the fire in me. And it's just, I so strongly feel no one should be hungry. There's just no reason for that. And a lot of our seniors are homebound, and to have someone come and bring them a meal, some of them, that's the only interaction they have throughout the day, and that means so much to them. And it helps them maintain a sense of dignity, a sense of belonging, and that's so important, so important.
It's probably been, from your aspect, Anna, a decent winter in terms of not having many of the what they call blizzard packs or the things that they have. You've been able, probably drivers have made it out every day.
Yeah, we have not canceled this year any of our meal services, but in the event that the weather does cause us to cancel for the day, our seniors all have their blizzard meals, their shelf-stable meals that they can access, and so they have food for the day when we're unable to deliver. And that happens also for holidays. So if we have Christmas Day, say we're off, our staff are off for that day, they do have a holiday meal that they can access for that day as well. And they're all delivered well in advance, and the seniors are all instructed on the days and times that they'll be accessing those meals.
When you think of the time you've been on here, we've got a couple of minutes left, from where you began to now, new location obviously has just been a wonderful boon to your organization. Now we're talking about 250,000 meals. What's the expectation? I'm sure it's not getting smaller.
It is not getting smaller. I think the senior population back in 2010 represented about 15% of our total population. Currently we're at 23%, and we'll be topping out about 27% of the total population. So you can just see that trend just keeps going up, and so that requires Meals on Wheels to step up so that we're able to continue serving the seniors at the level of service that they come to expect and deserve. You've lived your life and you've done wonderful things for the community. They're the people who blazed the trail for us well ahead of us. And I think, to be able to deliver those services with dignity and respect and the assurance, that we're going to be there for you when you need us is a real boon for our community. And we have to thank the voters of Fairfield County. They support the Meals on Wheels Senior Services Levy, and that allows us not to have waiting lists for services.
And Christa, you're a board member. What would you say to anyone that's thinking about volunteering?
Oh my goodness, please, the self-fulfillment is just beyond words. To be able to give back to another person, it's just everything. It means so much. I truly feel that's part of the reason we're here, to help one another, to give back to one another.
Well, it's March for Meals, big month coming up here. It kind of begins with Thunder Alley on March 6th, the big 28th of March with a run, a walk, and some pancakes. Everything's happening at Meals on Wheels. Champion Weeks, March 6th through 10th. That's going on. Everything's on the website. You can go to look up Meals on Wheels, Lancaster. You can find it. It's all there. Great website, good information. Girls, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Wonderful March. We expect next time we'll hear just how wonderful everything went. Beautiful basket too, Christa. Thank you and all the board members for what you do for Meals on Wheels. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. We'll be back in just a moment on Fairfield Today.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Did you know that 2/3 of teens and young adults who report abuse of prescription medicines are getting it from people they know, including friends and family? We need to remember to secure them in a safe place, even lock them up if necessary. Monitor your medications so you know exactly how many pills are in each bottle. And finally, keep track of your refills. If you are done with their use, properly dispose them to avoid abuse. You can do this in a number of ways. 1. Take them to a local drop box at the Lancaster or Pickerington Police Departments or at one of our drug take-back events. 2. Take the drugs out of their containers, mix them with cat litter or used coffee grounds in a container. seal and place them in the trash. Remember to remove all personal information from your pill bottles. Or 3, check the prescription information regarding the specifics if the medication could be flushed, or call your pharmacist. Remember, if you are done with its use, properly dispose to avoid abuse.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to give you a quick plug here for the good folks at Fairfield Federal who allow us to come in here every week. And it's really 125 years of banking that revolves around you. That's their phrase they're using. You'll see it on billboards. You'll see it everywhere. And I want you to know that even though it's been 125 years, back then when they started to come now, it's an up-to-date organization, because if you go on their website, the one I'm always plugging, fairfieldfederal.com, they have a great website that talks about e-banking, and that's really where banking is these days, electronic banking. You certainly have personal banking, you have business banking, but think things about e-banking, and I was just looking it up online. You can make online bill payments. They can give you your balances and check images there. You can view your account history. You can transfer between accounts online here at Fairfield Federal, set up alerts that anything you need to know about your account so your money's safe, and you can always access any information you need about anything through e-banking. And again, the information on that, I would go to their website, fairfieldfederal.com, and find that out. And I also wanted to make a quick plug. A personal friend of mine who was a past president of this organization, his dad was president, he was a past president, Ron Keaton, passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to say how sorry all of us here at Interface Video, and certainly the family at Fairfield Today, are with Ron's passing. He was on this show many times, for the most part about the Garrett Players, because he was one of the original people that started the Garrett Players, and Ron and I just had a wonderful working relationship. It was so much fun to have Ron on. Anybody that knew him know what kind of person he was, and I feel badly for certainly the family here at Fairfield Federal and all of us who knew him. He was a wonderful person. Ron Keaton passed away a couple of weeks ago, and he'll be missed. So a salute to Ron and all the folks at Fairfield Federal. He was a wonderful person down there. Let's get to the show today, and our segment to wrap it up is from Salvation Army. And really, as we have Captain Bryan DeMichael on, almost an odd time
it is
to have you on, because we always talk, maybe that's in November.
We do talk in November.
Is
we
that
talk
when
a lot
it is?
During the fall, yeah.
In the fall, and then in November prior to your big bell ringing campaign gets on.
Of course.
So here we are in almost the spring, getting ready to move into the springtime of the year. As we look back at your most recent bell ringing campaign,
Yes.
the 2019 one, successful?
It was. This year we were actually able to raise a little over $101,000 on the bell ringing campaign,
Wow.
which was fantastic.
Wow.
Our goal was $80,000.
Nice.
And we actually had a wonderful donor that came in and said, Captain, I'm going to make you a deal that every dollar you raise the last couple of days before Christmas, I'm going to match it dollar for dollar up to $35,000. So we were very blessed with that, and he actually in the end just gave us the $35,000. But we were pretty excited about that.
Well, and again, I think that speaks to the kind of organization that you have at Salvation Army. Next week we're going to have a gentleman on. We're going to talk Red Cross. There are a few organizations in this town, and we have many nonprofits, 501(c) organizations that do so much for the people that need it. And but the organizations I generally speak of are Maywood Mission, Red Cross, and the Salvation Army. These are organizations that, in my mind, they do exceptional work. The money stays here.
It does.
They can get out anytime. You'll open your doors down there, let them see. If they can get in the building down there, it's a pretty packed building. We'll talk about that. But I really think the Salvation Army, they've been here locally since 1900, I believe.
1900, it'll be 120 years in November.
120 years coming up, and I was looking at just some of the things we talk about. There's clothing available. They certainly give out food. We'll talk about that. They'll give you some utility bill assistance, the adult daycare services for seniors and disabled people. Got a full plate.
We do. We are a busy place, and finding out that we're getting busier and busier as each day goes on.
And then your wife, Captain Laura, I don't know what her day-to-day thing is, but I knew during the season, football season, she's real involved with the young people.
Oh, not just during football season.
That's all year. That's her
round.
thing.
That is her
Captain
thing.
Laura.
She is our program person, and each week she's working with an upwards of 50 to 60 teenagers. And I've realized that I'm glad that is her niche, that is her calling, because I realize it's not mine anymore. I don't do so well with that. But she's working with the kids each week, providing activities, encouragement, a little bit of accountability there, and she's got a wonderful thing going on with these kids.
Talking with Captain Bryan DeMichael. He, along with his wife, Captain Laura DeMichael, run the Salvation Army here down on Hubert Avenue. And tell me about the adult daycare. That's still going to be booming down there. Anytime I ever am down there involved, man, it is to the gills.
Well, and I'll tell you, Paul, it's getting even crazier now, which is a good thing. We've got a lot of folks that we're able to assist, but it's believed that by 2030, that 19% of our population here in the county is going to be over age 65, that's our population that we have in the program. Whether it's folks who have dementia process, disabilities, Parkinson's disease, just need day-to-day socialization, a little bit of extra care. These are the folks that we have down in the center. And I'll tell you that the capacity for our center is 30 people a day. And our center has hit capacity 8 times in its 35-year history. 7 of those 8 times have been in the last 3 months. And it's just a busy place. It's a very active place. They do something that's cognitive, social, and physical every day. So I remember I walked into the center a couple weeks ago and they were playing some Walt Disney trivia, and I happen to be a big Disney fan. So I sat down at the table to kind of see how many I could get with the seniors that were going on there. They participate in chair volleyball. They have this wonderful program called Delay the Disease that they use to work with Parkinson's patients. And so sometimes I'll be sitting there in my office and they'll be working on basic motor skills as well as some mental activities as well. And so they were passing a ball around the other day, and to pass the ball, you had to name a different state. And I think I got to about 10 of them, and then I was like, I would be in trouble, let alone these folks. But the whole premise behind the program is that when you get your heart rate up, that you can go through some of those basic mental skills, and kind of helps to keep it going and active.
Well, I think we know about the chapel you have down there. You have services each week for that. Your wife is real involved with the young people 12 months a year, as we found out today.
Yes.
And a big group of young people, too. Now, you've spoken about the daycare center. Another thing that I'm not sure maybe some people know about this, but you're one of the big food pantry area. And talk about that in your produce day.
Well, our food pantry, what makes our pantry unique is that our pantry is a choice pantry. So basically, families can come in and select the items that their family would eat, because our ultimate goal is to defeat hunger. And so folks come in Monday through Friday from 9 to noon and can come into the pantry and get the things that they need for their families. This last year, we served over 42,000 meals from our pantry, and found out from a recent report that we distributed over 300,000 pounds of food to Fairfield County residents this year.
Wow.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food, and in a very small space. Our building is not large, as we've said, and the pantry is particularly small, but we keep it going. We've been fortunate for almost a year now to have a partnership with Meijer, where they give us all of their leftover meat, produce, baked goods, dairy, pet food, canned goods that they can't use, and so we get that stuff out. So folks that are coming into our pantry aren't just getting canned items, but they're getting, fresh meats and produce and things like that as well. So it's a very, very effective program. Now, we also do our Produce Day, which is a collaboration between us and Mid-Ohio Food Bank. And so the second, fourth, and fifth Wednesdays of every month.
Every month. Even during the winter months.
Even during the winter months. Right. It can be 10 degrees outside, we're doing Produce Day. It could be 110 degrees outside, we're doing Produce Day.
And you still got people there.
We still have people there. We have folks who will line up. The Produce Day distribution usually happens between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, depending upon when the truck gets there. And we have folks that will line up at our building at 6 a.m. to be ready to pick up these items. And we're passing out anywhere between 3 and 4 tons of produce in one of these Produce Day distributions.
Unbelievable,
absolutely.
Now, as I talked to, again, we mentioned some of the places. One that I particularly know a little about is Maywood Mission. And for them and some of the other produce places around that hand out food, not necessarily produce, but food places, they go through the 211 system. Is that you use also?
We do as well. As a matter of fact, any agency that's a part of the Mid-Ohio Food Bank is required to use a program called Pantry Track. So in Pantry Track, anyone who comes into our office that's needing food, we put them in the computer as saying that they've visited our pantry, and we can actually see some of the other pantries that they've gone to make sure that everyone is getting what they need. And our goal in our pantry is to provide folks with enough food for a 3-day supply of food for 3 meals for every person that's in the household. Well, I found out recently that ours is actually kind of eking up towards a week's supply of food, but still, whatever we could do to support the families, that's what we want to do.
And I think that's important to note about, and most of these other organizations are the same way with Salvation Army. You don't get turned away there.
We don't.
You open the doors. Your job is to serve people. It's not to screen them and then turn them away.
No. If someone comes through our doors and they're hungry or they're in need of something, we're going to do whatever we can to serve them. Our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. Doesn't matter who you are. We're going to serve you and we're going to love you.
And I'm sure, and I spoke in the first half of the show today with Anna on the Meals on Wheels program, and we were talking about they're up to about 250,000 meals they serve per year now, and that is only going to increase, obviously. And
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of what you're indicating to us, that the things you do, the produce, the food, the adult daycare you have down there, it's only growing.
It is. In the last 10 years, we've actually seen our food pantry use more than double. I've been here now for 5.5 years, which is hard to believe. But in 5.5 years, the number of meals that we're providing out of our pantry has almost doubled. Our youth programs have gone from 10 to 15 to now 50 and 60. The daycare is completely maxed out. Everything is continuing to grow. It's actually right now about 12% of our population in Fairfield County lives in poverty, and we continue to see those numbers grow. We continue to see the people seeking services just continue to grow. There's a lot of challenges that the youth are facing, for example. One of the things that we've noticed too, or we found out that within the city of Lancaster, is that our crime rate since 2004 has been above the national average. Well, a lot of times what happens is it's kids who are getting into trouble that are driving those up. It's not necessarily that we've got a bad neighborhood or something that's causing that, but it's kids who are bored that are getting into trouble.
Latchkey kids sometimes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. So our mission with the Salvation Army is we really want to be able to do something about that. We want to help make positive changes today for our seniors and for those who are hungry, but also for the future in working with our youth.
I'd encourage you to go on their website. You can put down Salvation Army, Fairfield County. It'll come up. You'll find it. It's a great organization. A lot of information on the website of what the captain has talked about today in terms of adult daycare or produce day or food pantry or the church services. It's all on there. The youth program that his wife runs. So I'd encourage you to go on their website and do it. So it'll probably be a few months before we get back here. And, it's just a thought. Maybe you should think about a bigger place. Now, that's just something crazy I'm thinking about now. So just file that away.
We'll do that. I don't think you're that crazy, Paul, actually. I don't think so. So it's coming.
Well,
it's coming.
We'll talk sometime about that. Not today. Captain Bryan DeMichael with Salvation Army. Greg, give our best to your wife.
Absolutely.
The things you do down there, doing great work. Thank you for the Salvation Army.
Thank you very
work
much.
Here. Thank you, Bryan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.